Alright, what's up, y'all? We're going to do a brake job on my dirt bike here, one of them at least. Last week we did a rebuild on the front master cylinder of our Yamaha. This happens to be a 2004 YZ250F, but this procedure is pretty much the same for all hydraulic brakes. The parts are roughly the same. Same with the caliper assembly here. If you have issues like your brake pads are wearing unevenly, or if they're wearing at an angle, that often means you've got some excessive buildup on your pins here for your caliper mounts. Also, the seals inside here possibly need replacing. So it's a good idea just to go ahead and do a complete rebuild if you're having those issues where your brakes will not retract properly, if they're scrubbing the rotors. It just means it's time to do a nice rebuild here. So, of course, we have our service manual here that shows the breakdown here of the caliper, which we already did a week or so ago, as well as your master cylinder breakdown right there, your caliper breakdown right here. Right now we're going to work on the front brake, which will be this guy here. Notice it's got various seals you're going to get in your kit. Typical caliper rebuild kit here. Those seals, also your little boot that come on the mounts here. We're going to replace that boot right there. Also this other boot, which is what seals all this together right in here. It's most likely that yours are dry rotted and cracked and not really working properly anymore. So you can get a nice kit like this. It includes the pin as well. So we're going to replace all that. I also inspect the brake pad clips. If your clips are cracked or excessively bent and warped, you might as well replace them. Those can all harm your brake performance. So basically, we're going to go through this area right in here. And of course, we're going to drain the brake fluid out of the assembly. So we'll remove the brake line right there. Make sure you're wearing your nitrile gloves when working with brake fluid. It is not good to touch your skin, definitely not your eyes. So we'll drain that out into a bucket. Keep everything laid out and organized the best you can so that you can see where everything goes when it's time to put it back together. You will also need your air gun with your compressed air, because that's how you will actually push the calipers, or the pistons rather, out of the caliper. Once the brake line is removed right here, you will actually put your air gun right there where the brake line goes, and you can put a rag or a towel or something right here, and you will gently blow air where the brake fluid usually goes, and it will push the pistons out. Something you should never do is try to pry these out with a tool or anything. Just push them out with air pressure only, and just be careful when you do it, because they can come popping out of there and hit you in the face or something. So use a towel or a rag or something right in here while you're putting the air pressure on it. Also tells you going through your service manual here, notice right down here make sure you cover the pistons with a rag. Use caution when pushing the pistons from the caliper. Can be very dangerous. Okay, you'll keep track of there's various seals that you're going to remove as well. Just use your finger to remove those seals. Okay. And also when reassembly or when cleaning all of this, just use clean brake fluid only. Don't use solvents or kerosene or gasoline. Just use a brush and a rag and clean brake fluid only when dealing with your brake system. Okay. Everything's pretty straightforward as far as the description, how it all goes back together. Putting your piston back in there is literally just pushed in by hand. Okay. Notice right here, for assembly and installation, all of the internal brake parts should only be cleaned in new brake fluid. Okay? And always replace everything as far as these seals. You should not reuse those seals. It'll just help your brakes feel a lot smoother, a lot more controlled when you get all this back together. And also make sure you're using .4 brake fluid, which you can get at pretty much any motorcycle shop. So we're going to get the brake line removed here and empty out all of our fluid, and then we'll get the compressed air and push the pistons out right here, and we'll show you that in just a second.